Hello and welcome back to ADSR Pro with me, Mike Smith. We're going to be looking at Flux, which is a Halion Sonic VST instrument that comes with the newer versions of Cubase. There doesn't seem to be many tutorials out there on Flux, so I thought I'd do a few just on showing you around it and creating some basic patches. So all I've done is I've got some drums and I've got a little MIDI file, sort of an arpeggiated MIDI file here. Let's just play that for you. So there you go. Now all I've done is I've initialized Flux. So I've basically just created a single saw wave. There is an initialized preset in there, but I've just created my own. So it's just a single saw wave. So if we just listen to that, we're just using one oscillator, and that's it. So let's try and create this into a little bit more of an exciting patch. We've got the oscillator sections here, and you can see we've actually got two oscillators. We're just going to concentrate on one oscillator for now. We've got the level, wave position and pan. We've also got octave, coarse and fine. So let's bring it down an octave. Okay, and you can see here we've got two little buttons here. We've got multi and formant. I'm going to turn both of those on, and if I click the multi tab here, what this allows me to do is basically create more voices. So let's go about 2.5 voices, and let's detune these a little bit. Bit of spread. So you can hear instantly, you know, it's already sounding thicker and fatter and warmer, you know, and we're just using one oscillator. So even just simple basic tweaks do make a big difference to the patch. So let's adjust the envelope a little bit. These are the kind of basic things I like to do with a patch. I like to kind of start off with an almost closed envelope. So there you've got a nice little pluck. Add a bit of sustain, maybe a little bit of release. So that for me is a nice starting point for a patch. Now we can adjust the filter. Filter sections here, filters on, and if we click where it says low pass, as you can see in all the Steinberg instruments, you've got a whole choice of different filters here. I'm just going to put it on a low pass 18 for now. Apply a little bit of resonance, and let's just have a little filter sweep and see how that sounds. Nice, so we've got a little bit of control over it, and what I like to do is right click, I'm going to learn CC, and I'm just going to move my modulation wheel. Actually I did my pitch there, so let's just do that again. Learn CC, there you go. So that filter now is assigned to the modulation wheel on my keyboard. So really simple to learn any parameter. Okay, so let's adjust the filter envelope a little bit here. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to put a bit of envelope amount on. And because the filter's fully closed, that gives me a nice little subdued pluck. And I'm happy with that. And then if I open the filter, real sort of trance sort of pluck. But you can see there with just one oscillator and a little bit of effort, you've already got a really interesting sound compared to how it was. Now what we can do is we can add some modulation to this as well to give it a little bit of movement. Rather than us assigning loads of parameters, we can just use the modulation matrix. So for instance, we could maybe select LFO1 and let's select pan, and we'll put a little bit of depth on. Won't go crazy. Now let's go back to our oscillator, and if we go to the main section, let's just move this formant. So let's maybe apply a little bit of modulation to that. We'll use LFO2 in this case. We'll put an amount on, and we'll have wavetable 1 formant shift. This is bi-directional here, so you can either have the LFO going from 0 into the positive range if you like. If it's bi-directional, it'll start at 0 and go into a positive range, then go backwards into the negative range. So you've got lots of different options there. So it's worth just checking, unchecking, and just seeing how it sounds. So we're obviously going to extremes there. So let's maybe just back that off a little bit. And if we go to our LFO section, let's sync these differently. So let's sync that one, and we'll do it to half, and sync that one. So there you go, straight away, you know, the patch is a little bit more interesting. There's a little bit of movement in there. We've got control of the filter. And that's not to mention, we can obviously put loads of effects on within Flux itself. So if we click up here on the effects tab, so we can just put it on the main effects section here if you wanted, which will obviously, anything you put on this main section will apply to the full sound. So let's just go, let's put a bit of reverb on. Nice. Let's actually put a delay on. Let's put a multi-delay first, and we'll put the reverb after. Let's bring the mix of that reverb back down, and let's go to edit the delay, and we'll put that to 1/8. So there you go. That's a basic patch using the new Flux that comes with Halion Sonic SE3. And I'm going to do a few more tutorials on this. Maybe next time we'll do a bass line. But as you can see there, we've just used one oscillator, applied some basic modulations, set our envelopes for the amp envelope and the filter envelope, and put on some basic effects. So if you like what I do, please do subscribe to my channel. And if you've got any questions, please get in touch. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you.